All right, let's welcome now to the show from Buffalo's Real Rock Station, 92.9 WBUF, the master media man, Pat McMahon. How am I
What a
doing?
statement. Thank you.
How'd I pronounce it? Am I doing good with that?
No, you're good. You're good. McMahon, like Ed, like Vince, like Jim, only I'm not related to any of them, and I don't have any of their money, which is fine. Which is
Which is
fine. I'm good.
You're good with that. Well, we're glad to have you, man, with 92.9 rocking here in Buffalo. Let me tell you, I really appreciate you being on the show today, man.
So,
So,
Robert, thanks for having me, man. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
yeah, you're a Western New York guy. You graduated from Iroquois High School, went to Fredonia State, worked at the original Santora's on Transit
Yes.
and Clinton. I saw that in your mouth, the original one, not to be confused with the other ones. So definitely. And your hometown is Marilla, and now you live in the Kenton area.
Yeah. Grew up with more cows than people. Loved it though. One of my best friends, he literally owned the big farm in Marilla. So shout out to the Janiga farm. Uh, and then decided to. I was actually a singer originally, not a good
Really?
one. Classically trained and that sort of stuff. And I thought, I'm going to go to college for that. That was a bad idea because you don't make any money
Right.
singing like
Right.
that. So I actually, it's funny, Rob, I never thought I'd go into radio. It was never a passion of mine. I never, I liked radio growing up, but I
Right.
was never like, oh, I'm going to be a DJ or I'm going to be a host or I never thought of it. And then I got to Fredonia State and I was going to do sound recording technology and just try to be, I don't know, a roadie or anything involving a producer in a studio.
Right.
Fell in love with the radio station, and here I am. All these years later, 15 years later, basically.
Kind of came
Um,
all around with all that stuff. You've been
yeah,
around the
yeah,
country, man. You've been doing, you did morning shows, country, talk, radio, sports, man. You've done a little bit of everything around. You also, you did some work at iHeartRadio also, correct?
yeah. I worked for when it was I worked for Odyssey to start my career. They were Entercom back then, on a show that a lot of people know, the Kimberly and Beck show.
No, a lot of
Um,
people remember that show. Yeah.
oh yeah, and I was there for 6 years as Pat the producer. Um, and then so I was a third mic. I worked in news radio, I worked in talk radio, I worked in rock radio, got my own morning show eventually. I worked with the great Kathy Rowe in Syracuse, and then as iHeart does, they let her go because they let everybody go at some point. Um,
Right. They're
you
making a
know,
lot of
eh,
changes in radio I've been seeing over the last couple of weeks, different areas.
yeah, listen, and I know I take a dig at them at the same time. I think they're a smart company. I mean, in terms of their app and what they've accomplished and what they've done. I was an original beta tester of the iHeartRadio app, and one of the first people to also do they call it iHeart Custom, which is all their national talent that they use for multiple markets. I was one of the first people to do that too with them. It was a really cool experience, and they gave me a lot over the years. I can't totally complain about them. They did lay me off in 2020, which I did not like because I had a morning show with them that was number one, and I was in multiple markets, and
What the
it
heck's
was
going on with that? I mean, they come up with this
yeah.
really cool app because the app was real good. A lot of folks like the iHeartRadio app. I use it every once in a while.
Yeah,
But and then they do that makes like no sense at all. That was like out of left field. So is that when you came back to Buffalo then?
I went to Rochester one more time to work with my old show, Kimberly and Beck, and 2 days in they got fired, and that made national news. So that was an interesting time.
So did you think like, oh
Um,
man, I'm cursed? What's going on here? All right.
but kinda. And the thing is, what was cool about that is, first of all, Kim and Beck are their family, so I both love them and despise them all at the same time, right? And I've told them that to their face before. Um, some of the things that come out of their mouth, I go, "You guys are so stupid. I love you, but you're so stupid."
Right, right. Well,
Um,
they're supposed to be wacky. That's part of the deal, right?
yeah, no, you're right. But not racist. You're not supposed to be racist.
No,
That was what
no,
got them there.
that's
Can't
not
do that.
good. Can't do none of that
No, no.
non-politically correct stuff. Doesn't fly anymore. Yeah.
No. And yeah. And but no, it opened a door with a guy named Earl David Reed, incredible comedian. They brought him to Rochester and put me with him and also Megan Carter, who's on our sister station, WYRK. And we did a show for a while, and I just wasn't, I had some disagreements with how it was being run. It wasn't like a personal thing. It was more along the lines of, I'm looking at how this is going. I'm looking at my place, and I just don't fit. So that's when I came to Buffalo. I saw an opportunity to come and be the digital managing editor here, which is a really big deal It actually has nothing to do with radio. It has to do with writing content for our websites.
Right.
And
You started doing this months and months ago. I was kind of looking back in the timeline there. You started, like you were saying, posting stuff, getting the Facebook page going, and were you kind of helping them develop their app too?
yeah, well, and helping them develop their content. Like I work with everybody on the air here to help them with their content online and a little bit on air because I obviously have a lot of experience doing that too. So that was really my first, year in Buffalo, was working on the digital side, and then an opportunity popped up for WBUF. And the next thing you know, I'm on the air. The next thing you know, I'm the brand manager of the station and having a damn good time doing it. So it's been a fun ride. Unexpected. I really didn't think I was going to end up back on the air or doing actual radio things again, to be honest with you. But I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I'm where I'm at.
Yeah, that's great because you definitely had a lot of things to deal with coming out of all that for sure. But then, hey, it came around for you, and now you guys are, out there doing the great things that we need that we're lacking in our area. I have a list of a couple of these things I want to go through with you quick. Number one, supporting the local music and venues. All the media should be trying to do that, especially now with us just coming out of the COVID thing, right?
100%. They need our help. You know what I mean? They need all the help they can get, and that's the thing. We try our best to do that as often as we can. So,
yeah. Number two, playing not only great rock but new rock as well. Let's hear some of the new rock stuff that's coming out. These guys are going to be taking over the honors from the old guard that's going to be retiring. So we got to give these guys a listen and a chance.
100%. And I mean, we're really the only station in the region, not counting Canada, because I'm not, but it's not the same business process, between the things. So for like 97.7 over in Canada, I'm a huge fan of that station.
Love
They're
that
not a
growing up.
competitor. Great station,
Yeah.
Legendary station. Very similar in terms of what they do and what we do. But like we're not competitors because they're, you know what I mean? It's not the same advertising dollars or anything like that.
Nothing
So
like that, yeah.
it really is. We're the only actual, and this isn't talking trash, it's just a statement of fact. We're the only actual rock station playing active rock, new rock. We're the only station right now playing, Jelly Roll and Hardy, but the rock versions of them.
Right. I do like that Hardy song. I've been hearing that. And a lot of this is newer music coming to me, right? Because I grew up in the 80s listening to all the metal and hair bands, but I love hearing all this new stuff kind of bleed in every once in a while, which is great. We need to have that.
Yeah.
That's the future listeners that these other folks don't understand.
100%. And I love it because I'm a 90s kid and I grew up with new metal, and that's kind of what's come back around. Because right, it's like everything culture, let alone music, everything comes back around. And I've been sitting here for a while, like I wonder when, the Linkin Parks of the world are going to be, or that in that genre of music, the Corns of the world, the Godsmack, who has new music out.
Right.
When are they going to become, maybe not literally them, but the sound become relevant again? And we're seeing that happen, where you have these bands coming out like I Prevail, for example, who's a newer rock band that we play a decent amount right now. And it's just a really cool time to see how musicians are taking new metal, mixing it a little bit with pop, like even mixing it a little bit with classic rock, and blending it all together in this really aggressive but really nice to listen to that sort of genre.
Yeah, you hit it on the head there. That seems to be the new formula, right? You take some hard rock edge, you maybe give it some pop feel a little bit, maybe a little bit of a dance feel to it, and kind of mix it together. And that seems to be what's the next sound is going to be.
Yeah. I had a nice conversation with Sleep Signals, who's an up-and-coming band. They were in studio with me a couple months ago, and they said the same thing. They love the aggressiveness, but they don't want to lose the the fun and the poppiness of it too, right? Because otherwise all we're doing is screaming. And don't get me wrong, I love aggressive rock, I love screaming, I love hardcore and that sort of thing. But I remember when it used to be Tuffalo around here, you know what I mean? And like a band like It Dies Today was playing like crazy around here and trying to make it nationally, and for the most part they did, and I like that, but it's nice to have more melodies and it's nice to have some singing in it, and make it a little bit more mainstream and just
Yeah.
enjoyable. More, it's nice on the palate, especially for I think the average fan who just maybe is getting used to the music or getting to know the music.
Yeah, I can't get into that screaming stuff myself either too much. The really, really hardcore stuff, I little bits and pieces I could take, but like you said, the new music, mixes it up a little bit. And not only are you guys playing new rock, you're also giving away tickets to some of the biggest shows that are coming around with these guys. Disturbed, Shinedown, the final Aerosmith tour. I mean, these guys are not kidding, I don't think, because they're getting too old to be doing this anymore. So this is the final shot.
Yeah, and they're starting to pass that torch, right?
Yeah.
And it's great, and it's good. It's awesome. And it's like Five Finger Death Punch is a band we've played a lot, and they're on kind of their final. Looks like they're gonna go away everyone always says they're retiring. I don't know if they're retiring. I think they're just gonna go away for a little while and then eventually come back.
Yeah.
But they're opening the door for these other groups and these other artists to step forward and take that mantle. And at the same time giving us great opportunities, you know what I mean, to hook people up and go to concerts and do awesome stuff. We're working on a deal right now. It's not official yet.
Okay, everybody, don't listen to what Pat's saying right now.
I know, right? We're working on a backstage deal with Nickelback right now for people to take advantage of, and we'll have more about that probably in the next week or so. Just check out the website WBUF.com and you can see what we're going to do, because it's going to be pretty amazing, Rob. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be pretty awesome.
You guys always are thinking you got new stuff coming up all the time. And I'm really happy to be doing something with you guys at the Wings meeting place. So 92.9 and Talking About Rock will both be at the football tailgates. The Wings meeting place in Orchard Park this fall, man. That is going to be a riot. I cannot wait for that.
I can't wait. We did so without giving away too much. When I got here and I took over BUF, one of the things we want to do is just figure out how we can do more with the Bills and more with the Bills fans. And last year it was, well, maybe we could do the tailgates. I don't know though. It becomes a problem. It's difficult to do. And I'm like, I'm going to be at every one of them. I'm going to bring the Dino Rock with me, who of course does weekends on BUF and has been in Buffalo forever. And we're going to rock this thing. So we set up in Hammers Lot last year. Hammers Lot's legendaries where Pinto, Ron, or Kenny, depending on what you call him, sets up. It's where all the cameras go. And we just had the most fun in the world out there. And I'm just so happy we get to grow it to Wings, because first of all, Wings Flights of Hope is an incredible charity. This is a guy who he takes his personal plane and flies people, kids, adults, all sorts of people from Western New York to go get cancer treatments in places that you couldn't get here. And he does it for free. It's an incredible, and it's not just that. There's all sorts of different groups. There's veterans he works with. There's all sorts of people, but it's a great charity. And Wings Meeting Place is just a place that he set up that he wanted to have fun with. And they have this incredible stage. It's right next to the stadium. They have a ton of parking. There's so many people that are going to be displaced from their tailgates this year because of all the new stadium being built.
Right.
And it's such a good spot on California Road, because you get in easy, you get out, you'll be home. If you leave a Bills game from this lot, you'll be home while people are still waiting in traffic, because that's how perfect of a location is. But beyond that, we got Hair Nation playing every single home game. We're going to have all sorts of it. We got Buffalo out there. The Buffalo store is going to be out there. They're going to be having their merch out there too. We're going to have Yingling. They're partnering with us to do beer. They have this thing called indoor bathrooms, not porta potties. What a concept for a tailgate, right? You can actually go to the bathroom in peace and maybe heat, So that's going to be a lot of fun. And here's the best part. I mean, the parking is pretty reasonable. I don't know the official rate that they're going to have this season. I know that it's cheaper than other lots. But the actual party itself at Wings Meeting Place, totally free. There's no cover. You just come. So whether you park there or not, you can walk over. And we're going to be setting up for every single home game. And Hair Nation will be playing usually like they start, I think, 4 hours before kickoff and play for 2 hours. You know
Right.
what I mean? And
Yep.
I'll be doing my show. I'll be doing my show or a show out
Yep.
from there every single time. And it's just going to be a lot of damn fun, man. I cannot wait. And I can't wait to have you out there, have School of Rock out there, hanging out with us, because it really is the Bill, Bill's Mafia is incredible.
Yeah.
But to
Yep.
be in the
We have the
tailgates with
best
them,
fans. We have the best
yeah,
fans. And that's like one of the good things that everyone knows about us, right? Because every time when
yeah,
people talk to me about Buffalo, right, and you were saying some of the great things that they need to hear. And we always hear the same type of things. When you say Buffalo, it's like, oh, you guys got lots of snow and your football team can't win a Super Bowl. But you know what? We have some of the greatest people here, like you
yeah.
were talking about with the Wings Flights of Hope. Amazing stories, amazing things, amazing community of people. Yeah, do we get a lot of snow? We do. Is our football team struggling a lot of the time? Yeah, it is. But you know what? There's people here that really are the heart of this community.
Yeah, 100%. And going out there and I think that's the whole thing with me and 92.9 WBUF is uh you don't get that a lot anymore with actual people being out and about. And that's not because they don't want to, it's because bigger companies they don't look at Buffalo and go, you're a priority, whereas my company, we're the biggest, market for them. So we matter, and they support things like this. And then you have me, who grew up here, and Dean, who grew up here, and we're just so passionate not only about this music but about these people in Buffalo, about the fans, about rock music in general, and just about Buffalo, that we're just trying to get out and be around you guys as often as we can, within reason. I have two kids, I have a wife, I still have to live a life, right?
You have to
But
do
I'm out
things
every
at home.
single week.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm out every single week, and we'll be there throughout the football season. We'll be there. I know we got some stuff coming up too, this fall, every Friday night. I'm not allowed to say yet, but we'll have that coming really soon too. Working on a show for this fall as well, so big show. So we're just trying to give back, and we're just trying to be active and do a little bit of old school radio in town, just to kind of build that connection back and let you guys know that we care about you and that we want to have fun with you.
Yeah, and you think you hit it on the head again. That connection has kind of really been lost with a lot of the other stations, and I won't mention them, but I've given them opportunity to speak and do things with them, and we got a lot of white noise from that. And that's not how you network with people in the community. That's not how you meet people and you share their stories, and that's not what it's about. It's about, like you were saying, getting out there, meeting the community, talking with them, doing things with them, and showing the rest of the world that, we're just not a snowbound football losing team. There's a lot of cool stuff happening here. And there's a lot of possibilities and growth that's happening here all the time.
Yeah, no, 100%. And again, I don't think I don't think it's that the other stations and the other companies don't want to. I think it's that they have less and less staff. But I will say too, I mean, they've also been doing the same things, with the same people in the same locations, the same way for decades now.
Right.
And then, and with all due respect, I don't care. Like, I don't care what they do or how they do it.
Right.
I you know, I'm going to do the best for 92.9 WBUF and its fans and for Buffalo. And if they don't want to be there, that's fine. I get it. Everyone's got,
Right.
and some people have earned the right to coast, and good for them. I hope I'm going to be able to do that someday. I'm not one of those, and I don't plan on doing that.
Right.
So
When you're out in the community and people see you and they talk to you and they see you at events and they see you doing things and they see you sponsoring these type of events, like with Wings Flights of Hope, that means a lot to them, and they appreciate that and they respect that.
no, I love it. Yeah, and we're going to keep trying to do more charity stuff too with BUF. We talk a lot about that, and Wings of Hope is just the beginning of that. So we're excited.
Very cool. Very cool. So now we got the tough questions for you, man. So I'll go through some of the stuff you have here. Favorite pizza, looks like it's a tie for you between Santoro's, Picasso's. I can't speak today. Bocce Club.
No, it's okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Or Lisi's. I've never heard of that last one you have.
So Elise's is a
Elise's.
New York style that's in Kenton. It's right on Sheridan Drive. Incredible pizza. If you like New York style, incredible pizza. Santora's Picasso's, the original Santora's and Picasso's are the same thing. A
Right.
lot of people don't know that. It's the same pizza, and it's always, I think, gonna be like my favorite, just because
Because it
it's
was like
amazing. I
your
worked in
first thing.
kitchens.
You worked there. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, but it's funny because I worked in a lot of kitchens. I did a lot of kitchen work when I was younger and worked in different places, different settings. And it's very easy to get sick of the food you're serving
Oh, I
people.
know.
I
I worked
never
in
got sick of that
restaurants for a
pizza.
long time myself. Yeah. And
Yeah,
sometimes you don't want to look at it for a while.
right. And the thing is, I never got sick of their pizza. Even though I know how it's made, I know everything about it. I never got sick of it. Even to this day, I love it.
Okay. Awesome.
Obviously, Bocce's legendary. If I
Yep.
had to pick one, if I had to pick one, it'd be Santora's Picasso's. If I had to pick one, but yeah, those are some of my favorites for sure.
Very cool. So next you got on the list favorite wings, of course. Barbell
Bible.
is your go-to, not Duff's, not
I,
Anchor
I
Bar.
I have a lot of respect for Anchor Bar. I know people throw shade at Anchor Bar. I think they're quality. I really do. I think I always have been. I think that they get a bad rap because they made their own sauce and made, some of their stuff touristy, but of course they did. They got to make money. It's called a business.
Yeah.
Duff's, I still love Duff's because it's Duff's. But growing up in Marilla and having Easter roll right next to me, I legitimately, I hate when people are like, well, I remember back in the day. And no, literally, I was there back in the day when it was a biker bar. And my mom would bring me in there. I'd be like 10 years old. She's like, we're going to get wings. And I'm like, we're in a biker bar. What are we doing here? All these guys look scary.
Don't
She's like,
leave
oh,
me
fine, don't go there.
alone.
Right. But that was the thing. They were always the nicest dudes. There was the funnest dudes. And Barbell has always had the best wings to me. They've always been number one.
Okay, cool place to check them out. This next one I really never heard of before. Favorite coffee, Bean Bastard. That's a new one.
Yeah,
I'm
Bean Bastard.
not
Yeah.
familiar with that. Yeah.
Bean Bastard's really good. It's a Buffalo coffee company. They set up. I got to know them because they set up in the Kent Village of Kenmore farmers market.
Okay.
And anytime I can get a hold of some Bean Bastard coffee, I'm a big fan. So shout out to them.
Very cool. And favorite video game, of course, Fallout 3. Got the Fallout tattoo there on yourself. Very, very cool. But
Yep.
I noticed something missing from your list.
What's that?
Favorite donuts. No favorite
Oh,
donut shop. I noticed the one thing missing. So we got like Paula's, and obviously we got Timmy Ho's, and we got Dunkin'. Those are probably the three around here.
so okay, I'm supposed to say Paula's.
Okay, well I would say
I'm
Paula's
supposed
too.
to say.
Well, I'll
And
say it
listen,
for you. I'll say it for you. I'll say Paula's for you.
but it's all. I will tell you, it's a tight race for me every single time. Between two others, Donut Craze.
Oh yeah,
I
very good.
think
I've
they're
heard.
great,
Very good.
and I
I've
think
heard.
I love them. I think they do a great job. And the other one is Radical Donuts, which is my wife's company, because
Okay,
she makes vegan donuts, ironically.
right.
But you wouldn't know it, and they taste like Krispy Kremes on crack, and they're incredible. And you can order them. So not to do the shameless plug, but I'm going to do it.
Do the
Yeah,
shameless
my
plug. No, that's what we're here
yeah.
for. Yeah, that's what we're
No,
here for.
Radical Dough, her and her sister make some of the you have to order them and they make them for you, but they are absolutely incredible.
Very, very cool. And you have a couple different show segments, so I wanted to give you my take on some of them. So you have one, what grinds my gears?
Yeah.
So for me, what
Yeah.
grinds my gears is why does it always rain after you wash your car?
100%.
Every time.
You go to Delta Sonic, you get the Super Kiss, and I know you can go back in a few days or whatever, but it's not the point. You just went through the whole thing, right? You got some guy for some reason directly in your trunk. Look, where are you going to go? You're on a conveyor belt, and for
Right.
some reason they are in your trunk. I don't know why they're that close, right? And you get
Well,
it
they're always
washed,
waving
they
them in.
def
They're
it.
like, come on, get in here
Yeah.
closer.
It's
I'm
like,
like, no.
okay, great.
If I hit his car, I
Maybe half,
still hit his car.
yeah. Maybe half a car length.
Yeah.
And then you get to the thing and you get to the towel thing. And if you listen, if you're like me, I won't go to Delta Sonic if I don't have $1 at least in my pocket because I
You
have
feel
to tip them.
bad. You feel bad.
Yes. And that grinds my gears that I can't like give them a card swipe or something like that. But then it happens, you pull out, you're like, life is good. And then you have what happened today in Kenmore. You have an isolated thunderstorm, and there goes your card.
I had to give him 4 quarters because I didn't have a single the one time. I felt bad about that.
Don't you feel bad? I know, and it's all the same currency, but don't you feel a little freaking cheap? You know what I mean?
I'm sure they said something like, oh, he gave me freaking change, but whatever. So I gave you. I know. I feel the same thing when I go through there. So yeah, we're on the same point with that. So your other thing you have is shower thoughts. One I had is this was going on this week because the new Indiana Jones movie came out. When Harrison Ford comes out with a new movie, it will be good. Period. It's Harrison Ford, people. Did you see roasted Conan for getting his name wrong, his Star Wars name wrong?
I did.
Hilarious.
Love Conan. And here's the funny thing. I'm a huge Indiana Jones fan. Like that is my hero growing up, right? I have a poster in my living room. I should say my wife brought the poster, and it's now inherited by me. Giant movie poster of the third of Last Crusade. And I love him so much. The fourth movie's fan fiction and should never exist, and I hate that movie. Fifth one though is so good. I couldn't believe how good it was. I went in thinking this isn't going to be good, and I got 20 minutes, and I'm like, I don't feel good about it. And then as it went on, I was like, oh, this is an Indiana Jones story. It's a fun adventure. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so, they were giving it some crap at the beginning, Dial of Destiny. They were saying, I thought it was really great. I enjoyed it. Yeah. Like you said, totally lighthearted Indiana Jones adventure. It was good. But I just was laughing when he was railing Conan for not knowing his name. He's like, you got my name written down on a piece of paper. You don't know my name's Han Solo in Star Wars.
Come on, Conan. Conan's too rich now. He doesn't have enough time. He's retired. He's getting lazy. No, I'm kidding. I love Conan O'Brien. I love that podcast.
That was hilarious. When I saw that, I just had to shout out. Well, man, thank you so much, man, for stopping by. You guys can tune in to 92.9 WBUF. You can listen to Pat every weekday afternoon from 3 to 7 on 92.9. You can listen on the website, WBUF.com, or you can download the 92.9 WBUF app on their website, which is what I use.
Yeah, and it's free in the App Store and Google Play, and you're going to need that when it comes to the things that we're going to be doing with Nickelback shortly. So if you want to meet Nickelback and do maybe something even bigger with Nickelback, you're going to need our app. So please download it today. It's totally free, and it's a great way to stay connected.
Cool. You can get that on the website and get that in the app stores too?
100%. Yep. Yeah. App Store, Google Play, all that stuff. We're on Alexa as well.
Cool. Very cool. Thanks, Pat, for being with us today. Really appreciate it, for bringing real rock back to Buffalo, man.
Happy to do it. It's my honor. And thanks for keeping talking about rock, man, because some people say it's dead. It's not dead. It never died. It never will die.
No.
And we're just bringing in, the next generation of it. And I can't wait to see what happens next with it. So, Rob, thank you so much.
All right, Pat. Have a good night.